If you've been waiting for the right moment to share your story, your ideas, or your God given voice with the world, this is it. Riverside is the all in one studio built for creators who want professional grade production, effortless publishing, and a smooth, stress free recording experience. Whether you're launching a podcast, recording interviews, or creating video content, Riverside gives you everything you need to sound and look like a pro, even from home. So, if you've been thinking about starting a podcast, leveling up your content, or finally stepping into the calling on your life, Riverside is where you begin. Use my link to sign up and start creating with clarity, confidence, and excellence. Your voice matters, and Riverside helps you share it with the world. Hey, blessings, grateful family. Welcome in. Welcome back to the Grateful Gab Podcast. Looking forward to today's episode. You know, it's funny how the world works, right? Like right before I took a nap earlier and I had something on my mind planned to um record. But as I've grown as a podcaster, as I've uh, you know, spread out of and started to receive notoriety, I've started to receive uh more more traction in the media scene. People tend to reach out, right? Some people have more access and larger platforms. Some, are in the same media circle I'm in, so to speak, of status. But what I really appreciate about what I do is I value the content more than I value viewership. And that's something we have to be aware of. Like people contact me, all the time, looking to partner and do, be guests and do this and do that. But when you do research, right, that's one thing I will let you all know. Make sure you do research on the people who are trying to connect and reach out with you. If their views and your views don't add up, and I'm not talking about how many uh plays your episode get or whatever it may be, you should not bring them to your platform, right? Like I've had somebody reach out to me, and I rarely respond out. Like I said, I do research, but I had someone reach out to me, and first of all, I was reading the name incorrectly, but some said, well, let's look them up, and immediately I could tell that even though their approach or their pitch to me made it seem like they could bring value to my platform, I instantly knew that their view was not the same views I value. Got the daily verse coming here shortly, but again, I really want us to appreciate how even though you have an opportunity to grow and network, and I've spoken about networking before and growth and building relationships, it's important to know who you are essentially, as they say in business, getting in bed with, right? So, uh, research, right? Research. Thank you to my sponsors, of course, Sugarcane Sweet Shop and Riverside, two outstanding businesses, two outstanding uh, supporters who I've done my research on, who I know that when it's all said and done, the things I value and the things I view are appreciated, and they stand by, uh, you know, what I bring to the table. And that's important. Again, research. So daily verse for the date of January 30th, 2026. Right. We're already here at the end of January. Um, Look at what Jehovah God brings, right? Blessings on blessings. And the biggest one of all that you could ever be blessed with is life. and one day everlasting life if we live according to Jehovah God's will. That's amazing. Daily verse for the day of January 30th, 2026, derives from the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 13, verse 7. And it states as follows. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. Amen. And again, it's from the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 13, verse 7. And this is referring to love, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know. Love is spoken about in the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 13, verse 7. And I love all of these attributes that, these qualities that love reflects, right? Again, Jehovah God being the originator of love, how wonderful it is for him to have these type of qualities, right? To be patient with us, to be kind to us, to not, well, he is a jealous God, but I say to not be jealous because he deserves all of our love, right? Because he is a jealous God. So he wants him to be served only because he is the one true God. But still in that regard, right, he has every right to be jealous. That's just saying, like, if I give you everything you've ever had and you go and say, oh man, yeah, I'm so blessed, but um and I appreciate everything you do, Dad, but I don't love you. I love somebody else, right? I love another God. And that God don't do nothing for you, and that father don't do nothing for you, but yet you still clothe your child, feed your child, house your child, give life to your child, and yet they don't show you love the way you show them love. Yeah, I'd be jealous too, Jehovah. But that is why we have Jehovah as our leader, as our father, so that we know when love is not reciprocated from others, we don't need to be jealous because as long as we do his will, love will be shown to us from Almighty, from the Almighty, from above, from upon high, excuse me. But back to the point at hand, right? Are you enjoying today's episode? This episode of the Grateful Gab Podcast is proudly sponsored by Sugarcane Sweet Shop. At Sugarcane Sweet Shop, every dessert is made with love, creativity, and a sprinkle of sweetness. From the signature cookies and cupcakes to custom cakes for every occasion, Sugarcane is available to make your moments a little more special. Follow them on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at Sugarcane Sweet Shop to see what's fresh from the oven. And don't forget to treat yourself today. Views, values versus views, right? And again, the views is how many people see what you do, but also the view is your outlook on life. So please be aware, right, that Satan is easily able to what's the word I'm looking for? Insert himself. There we go. Satan's easily able to insert himself in someone's path, in someone's excuse me, in someone's line of sight, right? He could easily insert something that attracts you, but be aware of the manipulations from the enemy because he wants to do anything that he can do to say, hey, look, Jehovah, I got your son, I got your daughter. Even though they ain't know they was turning away from you or displeasing you, I got them, right? So that's how we have to, that's where that value comes back in, right? How much do we value our relationship with Jehovah? How much do we value um, the blessings he give us? How much do we value our time and energy that we've given to him that we can't get back? Of service, of all these type of things. How much do we value that? Or are we really willing to just throw it down and drain? Excuse me. So, research, right? Do research. Know who you're getting into bed with, right? And I spoke about my sponsors earlier. Like, yeah, I don't personally know Riverside, but I know they support the fact that they support the fact of freedom of speech. They support the fact that My platform is built on the basis of Christianity, to believe in the one true God, Jehovah, to teach to preach and teach the good news, to spread the truth around the world, and they help me do that, right? And of course, my wonderful wife, being my backbone. Of course, I know what she's about. I know she supports me. I just spoke about it, right? She's my backbone. She supports me, and I'm honored to be supported by her through the means of her small business. But yet she values the ability to have authenticity in her creations, in her marketing, in her brand, in her what she represents, because she's not being uh she's not being manipulated, or she's not being a sellout, so to say, to any and everybody who just wants to come and be a part of what she's building, right? Because people see you got something good, and they see your intentions can be good, and they say, "Man, I can take you to the next level," and that's all people want, right? So all people want is to be taken to the next level. But again, what do you value? Do you value uh, honor? Do you value respect? Do you value loyalty? Right? Do you value um, faith? Right? Do you value hope? Do you value hard work? So value overviews. Value overviews, man. It's I appreciate the exposure. I appreciate um, you know being able to reach audiences all around the world. But you know, I've always had the biggest sponsor ever since I started this. Right, this whole platform was sponsored by Jehovah God, because he the one gave me life. He knew my heart. He knew my intentions, and he's been blessing my efforts ever since. So don't ever think you need anyone but Jehovah, and He'll take care of the rest. That's the truth, honestly. All right, that's what it comes down to. And if we continue to do His will, He will continue to put people in our path who share the same views with us, who can still take you to the level that maybe you want to be, you want to get to, right? And it'll be done in a manner where the things you value, your relationship with Jehovah, will still be intact, and that's important. So make sure we know who we are dealing with. Right? Make sure we know that the enemy, Satan, will try to insert himself into your path and throw you off course. But as long as we keep our heart aligned with Jehovah God, as long as we keep our eyes set on the end road and everlasting life, we'll be okay. Because before we make any decision, before we do anything, we'll be mindful of prayer, right? We'll be mindful of what Jehovah God's thinking is, what Jesus Christ thinking is, and how I think it should be. So know who you're in business with before you get into business with somebody, and make sure that the things you value and the things you view in your life, it aligns up with what they value and what they view. So take care of yourselves. I love y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate Jehovah for the opportunity to um experience this, right? So I can be able to help somebody out. Because maybe somebody right now in the world who listens to this is ready to make a big decision or a big step in their life, and they haven't done their due diligence. And that's our responsibility to make sure we check every box as best as possible before we go forth and continue to do things in our life that could potentially take us away from serving Jehovah God. So love y'all. Take care of yourselves. Until next time. Peace.